In one of my recent videos, we looked at every team's last no-hitter. Now, let's give the offense some credit and look at every team's last player to hit 3 home runs in one game. There have been 18 players to hit 4 home runs. That's one of the most exclusive clubs in baseball, but the 3 home run game is a lot more common. There have been 663 in total. In 2023 alone, there have been 9. In fact, I'm worried this video will be out of date right after I post it, but that's just how it goes. Let's start with the most recent and then go back to the oldest one. New York Yankees, Aaron Judge, September 22nd, 2023. He never did it the year he hit 62, but this year he's done it twice inside of a month. The first time was August 23rd against the Nationals, and he did it again 30 days later against Arizona. In the third, he broke a scoreless tie with a 3-run bomb off Brendan Pfaadt. 2 innings later, he got Pfaadt once again, both of these home runs going to right center, and then he goes upper deck in right field off Slade Cecconi in the 7th. He's missed over 50 games this year, but he's still gonna sniff 40 homers. Houston Astros, Jose Altuve, September 5th, 2023. Just 6 weeks after Kyle Tucker did it, Altuve took the crown in Arlington. He led off with a home run against Nathan Eovaldi, then got him again for a solo shot in the 2nd. That knocked Eovaldi out of the game. Dane Dunning came in, and in the 3rd, Altuve took him out also. He had 3 home runs in the first 3 innings, and the funny thing is, by the time he hit that 3rd home run, the 7, 8, 9 hitters for the Rangers hadn't even come up to bat yet. He grounded out and struck out after that, and he would have had one more at-bat, but with a 13-run lead, he got the rest of the night off. Cleveland Guardians, Jose Ramirez, June 8th, 2023. Matt Dermody had the start for the Red Sox that day, his one and only start of 2023. Jose Ramirez left him something to think about, hitting one off him in the 1st, getting him again in the 3rd, and then the Red Sox brought in Cleveland legend Corey Kluber, and Ramirez wasn't nice to him either, leading off the 6th with his 3rd home run. That started a 5-run inning and a Guardians rout. Oakland A's, Jordan Diaz, May 9th, 2023. If you're not familiar, you're not alone. Diaz is still a rookie, and he already had a night to remember at Yankee Stadium. He got Clark Schmidt in the 4th, then took out Albert Abreu to start the 7th. The next inning, he got Greg Wiesert, but in classic Oakland A's fashion, they still got blown out 10-5. St. Louis Cardinals, Paul Goldschmidt, May 7th, 2023. Alex Faedo came to Busch Stadium and got the start for Detroit, and Paul Goldschmidt gave him a bad time. He started with a solo shot in the 1st, did it again in the 3rd, but after a Jake Rogers grand slam, the Cardinals were down 6-3. He led a massive 7-run 6th inning, and the icing on the cake was an 8th inning 2-run shot of Tyler Holton, putting the game out of reach. Texas Rangers, Adolis Garcia, April 22nd, 2023. The Rangers offense has been insane all year, and Garcia has been a big part of it. They flexed their muscles that day against the A's in Arlington, Garcia getting Fujinami for a 2-run shot in the 1st, then coming up in the 3rd with the Rangers up 9-2 and facing Adrian Martinez, pounding another 2-run shot, and 2 innings later, he got Martinez for the hat trick of 2-run homers. He wasn't done though, he drove in 2 more in the 7th, ending with 5 hits, 3 homers, and 8 RBI. Los Angeles Dodgers, Trayce Thompson, April 1st, 2023. This was his first game of the year, the Dodgers hosting Arizona, and he got the party started with a 1st inning grand slam off Madison Bumgarner. In the 5th, Bumgarner was gone, Kevin Ginkel was in, and he launched a 3-run homer, giving the Dodgers an 8-1 lead. Leading off the bottom of the 8th, he was facing Carlos Vargas and launched his 3rd home run of the game. It was a great start to a bad year, only playing 36 games for the Dodgers before being traded to the White Sox. Just a 155 average and 5 home runs. Milwaukee Brewers, Colton Wong, September 22nd, 2022. 5'7", 185 pounds. Colton Wong was Babe Ruth on this day in Cincinnati. Hunter Green was on the mound, and Wong got him for a 2-run homer in the 2nd. That was the only scoring of the game until the 6th, when he came up against Dauri Moreta and pulled another 2-run homer down the line. 2 innings later, he gave Milwaukee a little bit more insurance, coming up with 2 outs against Joe Kunal and hitting a solo shot, driving in all 5 runs in a 5-1 win. Toronto Blue Jays, Bo Bichette, September 5th, 2022. This was the 2nd game of a doubleheader, and he was 3 for 5 in that one. He would be 3 for 5 in this one also, just all 3 hits happened to be home runs. In Baltimore and facing Nick Vespi, he got the Jays on the board with a 3rd inning 3-run shot. The Jays would then be scoreless into the 6th, and he led off with a home run against Bruce Zimmerman, launching a 4-run inning. He wasn't done with Zimmerman. In the 7th, he took him out once more, capping his 3-home run, 5 RBI day and an 8-4 win. Pittsburgh Pirates, Michael Perez, June 30th, 2022. The Pirates actually had 3 of these 3 home run games in the span of 11 days, including the day before from Brian Reynolds. Jack Sawinski had one before that. The Pirates were hosting the Brewers, and Perez made his first mark off Brent Suter in the 4th, a 2-run shot to give the Pirates a 5-3 lead. In the 6th, he put 2 more on the board, this time off Jason Alexander. For good measure, he also got a solo shot off Jandel Gustave in the 8th, and turns out the Pirates needed the insurance. They gave up 3 in the 9th and won the game by just 1. Perez only hit 6 home runs in 2022, half of them coming that day. Tampa Bay Rays, Isaac Paredes, June 21, 2022. He came into this game with only 5 career home runs, but Nestor Cortez and the Yankees were coming to the Trop and he was ready to rake. He got the scoring started in the bottom of the 1st, then got Nestor one more time in the 3rd. Nestor got pulled right before Paredes came up in the 5th, but it didn't make a difference. He took Clark Schmidt out for a 2-run homer. 3 homers, 4 RBI, and the Rays squeaked out a 5-4 victory. Washington Nationals, Lane Thomas, June 3, 2022. The Nats came to Cincinnati, Mike Minor on the mound, and they do say it's a hitter's ballpark. He started with a 2-run homer in the 3rd, then greeted Vladimir Gutierrez in the 5th, and in the 7th, he got Jeff Hoffman to finish off the hat trick. He drove in 4 runs and the Nats won 8-5. Colorado Rockies, Brendan Rodgers, June 1, 2022. Once again, this was game 2 of a doubleheader. The Rockies losing game 1 against Miami 14-1, and Rodgers had a double. In game 2, he got the Rockies on the board against Trevor Rogers in the 2nd, then led off with another home run against Lewis Head in the 5th, and there was slugging all around him. The game going into extras tied at 11. In the 10th, the Rockies down 1. Rodgers came up against Cole Sulser and launched his 3rd home run of the game, this being a walk-off to cap a great day for him in a crazy game. San Francisco Giants, Jock Peterson, May 24, 2022. Speaking of crazy games, this game against the Mets in San Fran was insane. Jock got Chris Bassett in the 3rd for a 2-run homer, then got him once again in the 5th, a 2-run shot that gave the Giants an 8-2 lead. The Mets scored 7 runs in the 8th, going up 11-8. Then, Jock comes up against Drew Smith and drills a 3-run shot to tie the game. The Mets took the lead back in the 9th, but Peterson tied the game with 2 outs, and Brandon Crawford walked it off. Arizona Diamondbacks, Josh Rojas, May 20th, 2022. He came into this game with no home runs in his first 13 games that year, but he exploded that day in Wrigley. He got Kyle Hendricks in the 3rd, and 2 innings later, he got him again with a 2-run shot. In the 7th, with the game already in hand, he led off with a home run against Michael Givens. If you're wondering, the wind was blowing out to center field at 25 miles an hour. Boston Red Sox, Trevor Story, May 19th, 2022. This was Story's 33rd game, and up to this point, he only had 2 home runs. The Mariners came to town, took a 4-0 lead in the 2nd, and Story responded by taking George Kirby out in the 2nd and the 3rd, both 2-run shots. He drove in another run in the 6th, then iced the game in the bottom of the 8th, a 3-run jack off Danny Young, securing the Sox 12-6 win. New York Mets, Francisco Lindor, September 12, 2021. This was the Subway Series, the Yankees coming to Queens, and wouldn't you know, here's our good friend Clark Schmidt. Lindor got him for a 3-run homer in the 2nd, then set his sights on Wandy Peralta for the 6th, getting him for a solo shot. And after the Yankees tied it, Lindor broke that tie with a solo shot of Chad Green in the 8th, his 3rd of the day and the one that decided the game. Chicago Cubs, Rafael Ortega, August 1st, 2021. He's had a weird career, in and out of the league since 2012, only having 6 career home runs coming into this game in Washington. He was batting leadoff, and in the 1st, he got it started with a home run off Eric Fetty. That was all the Cubs would get off Fetty through 5 innings, but he came back in the 6th and got him again, a 2-run shot. Still, the Cubs trailed, but in the 8th, he hit a game-tying 2-run homer off Wander Suero. The Cubs would end up getting walked off, but still, a career day for Rafael Ortega. Chicago White Sox, Seby Zavala, July 31st, 2021. Coming into this game against Cleveland, Zavala had never hit a major league home run. He got Tristan McKenzie in the 3rd. That was just a solo shot, but in the 4th, he smacked a grand slam, giving the White Sox a 6-1 lead. Cleveland then scored 9 unanswered runs, but in the 7th, Zavala led off against Brian Shaw and went yard one more time. Despite his 4 hits, 3 home runs, and 6 RBI, the White Sox lost 12-11. Philadelphia Phillies, Brad Miller, July 8th, 2021. The Phillies went to Wrigley and did everything right that day. Miller got it started against Adbert Alzolay in the 3rd. That was a solo shot, and then came back in the 5th and got him for a 2-run homer. And once the Cubs brought in Corey Abbott, Miller got him too. A 2-run shot in the 7th. 3 home runs, 5 RBI, 8-0 win for Philly. San Diego Padres, Fernando Tatis Jr., June 25th, 2021. The Padres were hosting Corbin Martin and the Diamondbacks, and they didn't make him feel very welcome. Tommy Pham led off the game with a home run, and Tatis followed. Riley Smith came in for the second inning, and Tatis got him also. When he came back up in the fourth, Tatis did it again, a 2-run shot. He got 2 more at-bats, but no more home runs, settling for a 4-hit, 4 RBI day and leading the Padres to an 11-5 win. Baltimore Orioles, Ryan Mountcastle, June 19, 2021. The Orioles were hosting Alek Manoah and the Blue Jays, and Mountcastle made his first mark in the second, a solo shot. He wasn't done with Manoah. He got him for a 2-run bomb in the fourth, and then got Anthony Kay in the sixth for home run number 3. He singled in his last at-bat, the Orioles having a comfortable 7-3 lead after 7, but the Jays scored 7 unanswered and that was it. Yeah, the Orioles were really bad in 2021. Cincinnati Reds, Jesse Winker, June 6, 2021. Just 2 weeks earlier, Winker hit 3 against Milwaukee, but he wasn't done. He went to St. Louis and carried his whole team on his back. He got John Gant in the first, then again in the second. Those are 2- and 3-run shots, and the Reds would build a 7-0 lead. That was a race in the 7th, so Winker had to come up in the 9th and break a 7-7 tie, knocking a solo home run off Alex Reyes, the Reds holding on for the win. Minnesota Twins, Miguel Sano, May 18, 2021. The White Sox came to town, led by Lance Lynn, and he was untouchable the first time around. Then, Sano led off the 4th inning with a home run, getting him again in the 6th, and tied the game with a 2-run homer off Aaron Bummer in the 8th. He drove in the first 4 runs and set up Jorge Polanco for a walk-off. Miami Marlins, Brian Anderson, September 18, 2020. This was the second game of a doubleheader, and if you remember, these used to only be 7 innings. The Nationals came to town, and Anderson took Will Crowe yard to start the second. In the 5th, he would smack a 3-run shot off James Bourque, and with the game at a hand, the Nats brought in second baseman Brock Holt to pitch the bottom of the 6th. Anderson wasn't going to let that opportunity pass. He hit another 3-run home run, finishing the day with 7 RBI. Atlanta Braves, Adam Duvall, September 9, 2020. Exactly 1 week earlier, Duvall hit 3 home runs in Boston, leading the Braves to a 7-5 win. This time, hosting Miami, him and the Braves would go absolutely nuts. They had an 11-run second, including Duvall's first home run off Jordan Yamamoto. In the 5th, the score now 16-8. Duvall got Yamamoto once again with a 3-run homer. The game would just get more out of hand, and with the score 25-9, Duvall hit a 7th inning grand slam off Josh A. Smith. The Braves would win 29-9, Duvall finishing with 9 RBI. Seattle Mariners, Kyle Seager, August 13, 2019. The Mariners came to Detroit to face Matthew Boyd, and Seager got his day started in the 4th, knocking a solo home run. Down 6-3, Seager would tie it up with a second home run off Boyd in the 6th, starting a 6-run inning. And just a nail in the Tigers' coffin, Seager came up with a 2-run 9th inning shot off Jose Cisnero, capping a 6 RBI game. Detroit Tigers, Victor Martinez, June 16, 2016. The Tigers went to Kansas City to face Danny Duffy, and in the 2nd, Martinez led off with a home run. He would do the same exact thing to lead off the 4th, bringing the Tigers within 1, and then their offense exploded. They scored 7 of the next 8 runs, and Martinez came up one more time in the top of the 9th, and launched his 3rd home run of the game, this time against Chin-Meng Wang. Kansas City Royals, Lorenzo Cain, May 10, 2016. The defending champs went to Yankee Stadium, and Lorenzo Cain wanted to be the star of the show. He got Masahiro Tanaka in the 3rd, then got him again in the 5th, this one being a 3-run bomb and flipping the score from 5-3 to 6-5. The Yankees went ahead again, and Cain led off the 8th with a game-tying homer off Andrew Miller. Kelvin Herrera was not sharp in the 9th, and the Yankees took this one 10-7. Cain ended the game with a pop-up against Aroldis Chapman. Los Angeles Angels, Torii Hunter, June 13, 2009. It's amazing that almost every team has a 3-home-run game in the last 3 years. And here are the Angels with Trout and Ohtani and Pujols, and they haven't done it in 14 years. The Angels were hosting the Padres and Josh Gear, and Hunter led off the 3rd inning with his first home run. He got Gear again in the 5th, and then Joe Thatcher in the 7th. Joe Saunders was masterful that day, 8 1/3 innings and giving up 1 run, and on the back of Torii Hunter's 3 solo home runs, the Angels won 9-1. That's a wrap for this video. It won't take long for someone to blow this up, but we'll see just how long that takes. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, and if you love baseball content and want to see more like this, please give me a sub. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.